Happy New Year and welcome to the first episode of Spectrum Drama in 2021, where we take a look at the hottest posts on Spectrum for the week and give our opinions on them. So just a quick caveat, it's been a strange time for Spectrum over the past few weeks. Not a huge number of posts have reached the kind of numbers that we're used to, in the upvote region. So we've kind of picked and choose things that we like the look of. So we hope you like them. And we want to wish everyone an awesome 2021. I know it's obviously not the best start to the year, but we're getting there. We're here to keep you company. So hopefully we'll get back to normal soon. And if you haven't already, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. Hitting that like button really does help, helps to grow the channel. So we really appreciate it. And don't forget that we've got that giveaway running for the entirety of January. So if you want to be in with the chance to win the awesome Nomad, such a good ship, I love that ship, then all you need to do is comment on this and every video in the month of January for your chance to win. The more unique comments per video, so one comment per video, but if we've got 30 videos out in a month, that's 30 chances to win. Unlikely we're going to do 30 videos in a month, but we'll do our best. But yes, it definitely gives you more chances to win. So get commenting, and hopefully we'll be handing that Nomad over to you. Yes, I'm looking at you. But I think that is pretty much it. So let's dive in. Okay, so first up we've got a post from Project Potato, and it says navigation/star map, the biggest obstacle for new players. Definitely agree. So it says I don't want this to sound like a rant, but I feel like people might be glossing over the current state of the map/nav. So essentially the long and short of this is that there is still, a large list of problems with the navigation in this game, including the map, but also not limiting things like quantum travel and all these other problems that we have. But navigation starts your journey, even if you do want to quantum a large distance. And the fact that the map is so fundamentally broken on almost every level to almost everyone. I think most people have this problem. The fact that it's still a problem is mind-boggling. I know that I have problems with the map literally every single time we play. Without any fail, I will always have a problem. Do you get the same level of problems as me, or do you sometimes find like you have whole sessions where your map just works?
No, mine's not as bad as yours. That's 100% right. I can go through a whole session without any problems whatsoever. But then other times I'll jump in and I can't select anything. The map doesn't load. Quantum doesn't work. Quantum drive doesn't work. It's just really hit or miss. Really would like to know what causes these problems. Is it a server thing, do you think?
Don't know. Maybe it is some sort of a load issue or something that just starts to cause these kind of trickle down effects that start to stress out certain systems. I don't know. It's very annoying.
Yeah. Like you say, this has been going on since 3.0. Probably earlier than that, actually.
Yeah.
It's such a fundamental issue. It is quite surprising that they haven't addressed this really at all. We haven't seen any updates on the map or navigation since 3.0, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. No. And like you say, it's the bedrock of the game when you think about it, because the majority of what you're going to do when you sit down in your ship is you're going to plot a route to where you need to go, and then you're going to go there using the systems of your ship. And the problem with that is that if, like, the biggest problem, if you go into your map and there is no map, and you double click to zoom out, and normally that will fix it, but there's still an empty map, well then you are basically screwed. But then if that's working, but you can't click to select destinations, and so you have to just spin around like a loon trying to find your target and hope that you warp to the right place. It's just so hit and miss, and it is so fundamental. The fact that it still doesn't work is it's insane, and I can't imagine that they're not pulling their hair out trying to fix it, because if they aren't, what are they doing?
I would imagine they're looking at some kind of update for the star map. I think they kind of mentioned it once, but that was a long time ago and we never saw anything about it ever since.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, there's a chance we might not get anything until the Moby-Glass gets a full update, and God knows when that's going to be.
Yeah.
I think they're updating the Moby-Glass into building blocks at the moment, or I think that was mentioned at some point. But yeah, when we're going to get that, who knows?
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. If it is going to be a whole new system, a whole reskin of it and all that kind of stuff, fair enough. But, you know, what we've got at the moment doesn't work. And so it's kind of maybe a couple of little hot fixes wouldn't go amiss, maybe.
Just getting the map to load would be a plus.
Yes, yeah. Just knowing that you can, you know, click F2 and you're at least going to see the system. Even if you can't click on stuff, at least you can kind of gauge where things are in relation to other things. Do you know what I mean? So you could go, all right, well, I need to get to her L1, and I know that that's near this planetary body, so I'll aim at that and then look around a bit and I might find it. But when you can't see any maps, you don't generally know your distance unless you are like a proper nerd and you've learnt this off by heart, which I don't think many of us have. You know, it can be a real pain in the arse to try and navigate by eye. And that's if your spool is working, but don't get me on that subject because we'll be here for hours. So yeah, such a pain in the arse. Cool. So next up, we've got a post from Agenzleti, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I really need to go to the opticians when this whole thing is over and get my eyes tested because my goodness, I can't read anymore. And it says prison or deposit terminals not working. 8 months and 35 IC reports. So the long and short of this, obviously, you know, read the whole thing. It's quite interesting. But the long and short of this is the depositors in the prisons are still not working, the terminals. And so, well, when I say they're still not working, they do work on occasion, but a lot of people have massive problems with bugs. And I mean, this is a widespread problem as well. This is not affecting one or two people. This affects a lot of people, and they end up stuck in prison just waiting out their time because they cannot deposit them the mining stuff that they've got. So it's very mean, and it's almost like some sort of psychological torture to give someone the option to reduce their sentence, but without being able to fulfill it. It's just evil.
Yeah, I have constant problems in prisons. Every time I go in there, I think like 12-hour sentence, but the little vending machine doesn't give me a mining tool, or I can't pick it up. It just kind of falls on the floor, and I've got no interaction for it. I've had bits where I've fallen through the floor, halfway through the floor, the top half of the body sticking out. I can't move anywhere.
Oh, I remember that. That was hilarious to watch.
All sorts of problems in the prisons. It's got to the point now, if I ever do end up in prison, I'll just switch the game off and come back tomorrow. Yeah.
I mean, I've had problems like literally starting at the door, like being unable to get out of the prison cell and just having to just stay there, you know. It is really bad. And I mean, what really annoys me is how much emphasis and how big a grandstand they did for prison gameplay.
Yeah,
it was they were so proud of it. It's such a big thing, and I mean they should be proud of it because what they did was very clever, and the whole system, I think, if it worked, is a really cool system, and it just adds that element of danger to doing dangerous things in the verse. But the problem is when you bring something out like this that you are so intently proud of, and you're like, ta-da, and then it doesn't work, then it's like, ta-da, you know, it's so sad. It's like a wonky trombone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've talked to the public, so it's been at least a few weeks. It's a shame. It's a real shame, and you know, it's such a cool idea, poorly executed once again. And I hate having to keep saying that, but you know, a bug-filled mess does not a game make.
No. And you can see the full list of the IC reports here. All of these problems. This has been an ongoing thing for months, like he says. they've acknowledged the problem, but we still haven't got any fixes whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it really does put a dampener on doing any kind of criminal activity. I mean, we don't really do much criminal activity in the verse anyway, on occasion when we're messing around. But there are more criminal-minded players, let's say. And they constantly moan about just automatically going to prison from a bug or something and then getting stuck in there.
Yeah, it's unfair. It is really unfair because it does remove... it essentially gives them a timeout, which they have no control over. And, you know, there are games that I think have done this in the past, have done prison sentences, you know, like Autist Life and stuff. I'm not sure if you actually had to stay in for those, or if you just kind of went, right, well, log off then, I'm done, because you did something stupid. And it feels like a punishment, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a fun part of the game. So, yeah, they really do need to make this a priority because, I mean, like, for example, how many times have you ended up in prison because of something I've done?
A couple of times, I think.
Which, you know, is hilarious for me, but very frustrating for you when you literally then can't play the game for a few hours because I'm being a dick. You know, that is top tier trolling on my part, but you know, it's unintentional, I promise. But yeah, it's very frustrating. You know, when we piss about with the group, and I don't know, one of us shoots the other one, and we're in a group, so it's supposed to be fine. You know, we're all friends, but I end up with a crime stat, go to prison, and can't get out of my cell. That's it. It's end of game. It's not like I can log into a different character. Do you know what I mean? So you're kind of stuffed at that point. So it's such a big flaw, and they really need to just pull their finger out and get it done.
Yeah, these prison problems also kind of highlight another issue with the game. I keep saying game, but it's technically not game yet.
No,
you got
those
alpha. Yeah, you got those two camps. You got one camp that says this is an alpha. You just go in, test some stuff, and then leave, which is fine. And then you got the other camp which play this game every day for hours.
Yeah.
Which is, again, if that's what they want to do, fine. But then you got this kind of weird situation where you want to kind of let them off this because technically it is an alpha, but at the same time they run the game like a live service. And things like this shouldn't exist in a live service.
No. Essentially what they've done is, and we've talked about this many, many times before, they've essentially created a monster. It's so much bigger than an alpha now. And that is solely because of the way that they've marketed it and the way that they push this out. When they do market this game, even though they do say it's an alpha, oh, you know, when you sign up, oh, it's an alpha, but they do not sell it like an alpha.
No.
They sell it like a game that exists, but that is ever growing. And that is not the case. It is an alpha. You feel it every time you play it. You feel it when you log in and you've got no floor, or an elevator's invisible and you fall into space and die, or you teleport to the sun, or you're invisible, or, you know, maybe just your penis, which is terrible, you know, because that can make peeing very difficult. So there's a lot of problems with this game. And yes, it is an alpha, but it is definitely not sold like an alpha anymore. And people who say, you know, you're just fanfaring, you know, for the sake of it. It is an alpha, and you just have to accept that you backed it as an alpha. Yeah. We did back it. We backed it 7 years ago, but it is not the same game anymore by far and away. And, you know, once you get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars into a game, and they are actively trying to recruit new players, not backers, they don't call them backers, you know, new players, then this is a game, and you can all scream alpha all you want, but I'll put my foot down now. It's a game. Cool. So last up, we've got a post from Aztec, and it says the state of Carebears in 2020. So let's just start this off with a confession. This is not my words, by the way. This is Aztec's words. I am a Care Bear. I love that. It invokes images in my mind because obviously I'm old enough to know what actual Care Bears were. You know, whereas most of the kids... Well, actually, I say kids playing this. There's no kids playing this. They're all in their 40s. They've all got thousands of dollars hanging around their neck, you know. But anyway, this guy's a Care Bear. And I think... essentially the gist of this post is that there's a lot of emphasis put onto piracy gameplay problems. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of posts and a lot of things about the fact that piracy doesn't work the way that pirates want it to. And, you know, the game does focus quite predominantly around combat and kind of naughty. I mean, even if it's not naughty, it's still combat and fighting and shooting and punching and stabbing.
Yeah.
So basically, Aztec just really wants more gameplay: industrial, science, racing, touring, exploration, construction, medical, etc. It doesn't even exist. So he says, so please, from one Care Bear to another, shut the fuck up. Some of us poor sods have been patiently waiting for their gameplay to come online whilst you have been ganking prospectors for the lols for years. Thank you for coming to my Teddy talk. I love that. Aztec, you're my new favourite person. You are Spectrumer of the month. It's a bit early, but I'm giving it to you now because Teddy talk is amazing. I definitely agree that there's this overwhelming need in Spectrum to hold up posts and hold up issues that relate to the gameplay that we have now, which is the piracy and the kind of the more dodgy stuff. And then things about other stuff tend to get pushed aside because it's like, you know, we're always aiming too far in the future. Do you know what I mean? That's always the argument, is that, you know, you're always thinking too far ahead. You know, it's on the roadmap, or, you know, they have to do this first. You're like, yeah, but it doesn't mean we don't want it, you know? So yeah, I do get where he's coming from, and I agree with his Teddy talk. Yeah,
we've spoken about this before, about the lack of actual gameplay. Aside from mining and shooting people, there's not much to do at the moment. The community as a whole has been crying out for new gameplay to be added for ages. But still waiting. We've had salvaging, I think, on the roadmap about 5 times over the last 2 years. Still no sign of that. Probably no sign of that until iCache comes in, which is probably going to be the end of the year. So it's frustrating. It is frustrating when everyone keeps bringing up piracy isn't complete and complaining about prisons. At least they've got some kind of gameplay in. Other players that want more industrial or science-based gameplay haven't got anything yet. I feel his pain. We've spoken about this many times over the last couple of years, and I really hope they put something new in the game this year.
Yeah. And I mean, look, let's face it, we're all well versed in buggy gameplay by now. You know, we've all played the pirating gameplay. We're literally experts in taking shit, because that is essentially what this game has done for the past 7 years. It's kind of give us some shit to deal with, and in our own ways, we've all dealt with it. Some of us have screamed and shouted. Some of us have gone on Spectrum and gone, I don't like it. Some of us have just shut up and took it, you know. But we would take massively buggy science or industrial gameplay or construction gameplay or medical gameplay. We'd take massively buggy versions of that over nothing, because at least it's something just to widen the verse. Because I'll give you a little insight into the Crying Cow thinking. So we're currently trying to come up with a cool new idea for maybe a video series on a game, like we used to do back in the day with Ark and other things. It's so much fun to record. It's quite fun to edit. You know, it'd be a break from the more talky stuff we do. And I thought, you know, we think that would be fun. And we thought, well, what better game to do it in than Star Citizen? But let's face it, I mean, what would we do? There's no gameplay to latch onto in this game to make something fun or interesting. And don't get me wrong, there are YouTubers out there who can do that, but they have a massive group that helps. You know what I mean? You end up with like taking over a 50-man server, and we don't really have those chops. You know, so to us, Star Citizen is just not there yet to be able to do stuff like that. And that is because of these small sections of the game. I call them small, they're not, but that would make a big difference to how we would play this game. So I think a lot of people take it lightly when people moan about industrial science and medical gameplay and all that, but it would make a huge impact to the people who want that gameplay.
Yeah.
You know, it would change the game. So yeah, that's my 2 pence anyway. Okay, so there you have it, folks. That is all the posts for this week. We hope you liked them. We hope you found them informative or amusing. And if you did like them, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Star Citizen content. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified of our future videos, giveaways, reviews, all the cool stuff that's going to be coming this year. We're very excited. So yes, we're very, very happy to be back in the new year. We're really grateful that you've all stuck with us, and we hope you will in the future. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do us a favour. Our New Year's resolution is to get as many of you to push that subscribe button as possible. So do it. Go and do it. And yeah, that could be our Christmas present. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks very, very much for watching. Don't forget to comment for your chance to win. Don't forget to add that hashtag giveaway, because it really does make it easier for me to pick people out. We have given ships away to people before who didn't want them. So it's kind of a wasted ship. So, you know, if you want that ship, hashtag giveaway in your comment, and one of you lucky buggers could be winning it. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.